in Finsbury Park, and Thomas Frederick said that he had written to Miss Earle to ask if he might go and see her, that she had replied on a postcard, "Come by all means," and that he was going to see her on the Saturday evening. His father had said, "I may too." On the Saturday, Thomas Anderson arrived at Miss Earle's flat at about 8:30. They talked for a while. She showed him some new decorations she had made to her bedroom, and about 9 o'clock they went into the kitchen. She laid the supper, and they sat down to it. A few minutes later they heard 2 loud reports, one after another. There was about a second between them. They opened the back door, which opened out of the scullery, and looked out over the iron staircase. They saw a man lying almost at full length on the trellis work on the wall of the garden of the next-door house, Cambridge House. He got over the trellis work on the wall, dropped from it into the garden, and was lost to sight. They came quickly in and hurried to the back room, the window of which overlooks the garden of Cambridge House. They could see nothing in the garden. Miss Earle wished to go down to find out what had happened, but Thomas Anderson would not let her. Part 3. About that time, Edward Noyce, a chauffeur of Rosenau Road, was walking along the other side of the road opposite Cambridge House, and heard 2 shots. Immediately after them he heard a man pushing his way through the tree in the garden of Cambridge House. Then he saw him on the top of the wall of that garden. He dropped instantly into the Rosenau Road and ran along it very fast towards Petworth Road in the direction of the river. At the inquiry into the crime, Noyce said he was a man of about 5 feet 6 inches in height and was wearing a lounge suit. Certainly he was not wearing an overcoat. He thought that he had no hat on, but he might have been wearing a cap. He had a strong impression that the man was not a labourer. Noyce went to the Battersea police station and informed the sergeant in charge that he had heard 2 shots and seen a man running at full speed from the place where they had been fired. Sergeant Buckley made all haste to 17 Prince of Wales's Road, taking Noyce with him. Mrs. Emma Lewis, a working housekeeper of Dewar Street, Battersea, was walking along the opposite side of Rosenau Road to Noyce. She heard the 2 reports. Then a man came over the garden wall of Cambridge House within a step of her and ran up the road towards the river. She saw that the back of his coat was either dusty or muddy. His hands were empty. She only saw him in front of her for a few yards as he ran. She did not think he was as tall as Noyce had thought. She placed his height at 5 feet 3 inches. He was wearing a dark lounge suit, and she thought that he had a bowler hat on. She saw only his back and side face, and in the bad light could not say whether he was clean-shaven or had a moustache. She went across the road and talked to Noyce about the strange affair before he hurried off to the police station. Mr. Arthur Jones, a salesman of Earlsfield, was returning home along the Rosenau Road at the time. He was walking briskly and was passing number 40 when he heard the 2 shots. He went on and was passing number 12 when a man of about his own build passed him, running fast and panting. He ran towards Petworth Street, and since he was going in the opposite direction, Jones did not see where he went. He saw that he had a round white face and was wearing a lounge suit and cloth cap. He could not say whether he had a moustache or not, but if he had it, it must have been a fair one. He had nothing in his hands. He did not notice his boots, but they must have been light boots, for he made very little noise as he ran, and he did not hear him till he was practically on top of him. He was certainly not a labourer. His impression was that he was rather a clerk than a labourer. He thought that he was from 27 to 30 years of age from the glimpse he had had of him as he passed. He was running like a young man. Part 4. Miss Earle and Thomas Anderson went on with their supper, speculating about what had happened below, who had fired the shots, and why the man had fled over the garden wall. They were disturbed by a knock at the front door of the flat. Miss Earle went and opened it.